Hey, it's Neil here. Right now, as you know, we're on a big break with a Vietnam podcast, but I want to keep sharing podcasts with you, and I haven't done one of these in a while. So today I'm going to share with you a PodPast, which is one of our episodes back from the archives. This one isn't that old, but I wanted to share it anyway to keep the message out there that there is a war in Ukraine right now, and I want to support my good friend Anastasia Sokyrka. So go in the links in the show notes. You can donate to support Ukraine. Or if you want to book a photo shoot with Anastasia, she's an amazingly talented photographer, and she'll be donating all the profits that she makes from photography back to her family and people who need it in Ukraine. So check out this podcast episode of Anastasia's story of how she went back to Ukraine for the first time in years, only 5 days before the war broke out, and how she was able to flee Ukraine and get back to Vietnam with her mother. But sadly, her dad and her gran are still in Ukraine right now. Enjoy the episode. Thanks. Welcome to Season 8 of Vietnam Podcast. My name's Neil Mackay and I'm your host. I've been living in Vietnam since 2016 and I started this podcast in 2019 to learn more about people connected to Vietnam, both foreigners and locals. I wanted to learn more about their stories and share them with you. Now my guest today is the first ever repeat guest on a Vietnam podcast. We actually met in government quarantine when we were both fleeing back to Vietnam from overseas. We were coming from Australia and we ended up in the same room in the government quarantine with no bed, no bedding, no mattress, no aircon. And thankfully we got on really well. And over 2 years later, we're still best of friends. And that was the best thing that happened about quarantine. If you go back to season 3, I believe, episode 4, I interview Anastasia and my wife Adri from quarantine, and you can learn more about that experience. I think that was about day 5 at the time. But today we're here in even more tragic circumstances, I guess, than being locked up in government quarantine, which pales in significance. So Anastasia is originally from Ukraine and lived in Vietnam now for 8 years. She's been in Vietnam. As we all know, with the pandemic, borders have been closed since we met. Thankfully, this year, 2022, they recently reopened. So Anastasia took the opportunity to go back home for the first time in years. She got back to Ukraine, and within 5 days, the war broke out. Anastasia had to flee Ukraine, essentially, with her mother. They were refugees and managed to come back to Vietnam safely. Unfortunately, her dad is still there at the moment, and her friends and family. So while we're happy that Anastasia and her mum are here, obviously still very sad that the war is going on right now and her family are still there. So today, Anastasia's agreed to join me. She's going to share what happened to her, how she ended up back in Ukraine and went from peacefulness to war, how she ended up back in Vietnam, and then also how you can support Ukraine. So Anastasia, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Neil. Thank you for having me. Second occasion is also nothing happy. I don't know why we're doing this podcast every time. Something
we need
dramatic.
We need to get you back on when there's like a happy occasion.
Yeah, but we are happy. We are safe now, so it's more than enough.
Yeah, well, I'm very thankful for all that. I don't think I've ever been as happy as I've been to see someone this way. And I saw you and your mum.
Thank you. And that was my scheduled annual leave. I was planning to go on TED, but unfortunately there was difficulties with the tickets and getting visas because still it's COVID and we have restrictions. So the final date was set up on 18 of February. And 19 I arrived to Kharkiv. Kharkiv is my hometown. I believe everyone now knows this town. Like before, when I say I'm from Kharkiv, like...
I feel really bad. I know geography of Ukraine. I'm like, the Dnipro, yeah, that's there. Yeah, there's Kharkiv, yeah.
I never heard Dnipro River from any foreigner, so to be honest, this is the best. But yeah, so my hometown is Kharkiv, my parents there, my granny there, and I got my tickets to fly to Ukraine. I arrived home on 19. So that time already, of course, for 2, 3, 4 months, the world was crazy about the invasion and Russia will attack and the war. But you remember we discussed with you this, that are you not scared to go, Anastasia? And then I told you that Ukrainians, we are reading this news since 2014. There's nothing new for us. And then, yes, we were. It's going to be okay. And this is the same I was telling to my father, to my mom, also to my boyfriend, because every one of them asked me to reconsider and not to come this time. Maybe we can meet later. Don't worry. It's just, just for safety. And to everyone I said, oh, don't worry. This all like muscle games and blah, blah. And I couldn't agree that it will happen. But honestly, like now I realize if I'm thinking how the things will want to happen in that time, I really know that it will happen. But I couldn't believe it will happen right now. So I always knew this invasion will be happening. But I decided to come first because for the reason that if it happened, I must be with my family because that's a more important thing that I have now in my life. And I will never forgive myself if I will stay in the safe Vietnam, so far from home. And just because we already went through a small war compared to what we have now in 2014, what could happen? Because I remember what happened in that time. So I couldn't have a chance to not come and not risking to not lose contact with them, to know what happened with them. Because Kharkiv is a target number one because of it's too close to the Russian border. And
how many kilometers are you?
70? Like literally, they were like, the first day they already were 10 kilometers from my home, like my house. They were very quick. So I knew that Kharkiv may be under attack. So it's not that I'm brave or maybe I'm stupid, to be honest. But I just knew that I need to be there. And the second reason to go, I also wanted to talk to my family, to particularly my father, with the idea that we may need to buy some property, a small apartment somewhere in the western part of Ukraine. Again, for the reason Kharkiv is a target. But again, I didn't believe it would happen like this February. It was just like a chance. So it will happen. If it happened, at least I'm at home. But of course, it's still not going to happen. And we will talk about how we maybe need some backup plan for our family because all their life is in Kharkiv. Like we have a house, apartment, and everything, relatives, whatever. So yeah, and then I arrived, and the flight was quite smooth. It was a weird experience to fly first time in since 2019. I mean, for the long haul flight, I did some domestic flights in Vietnam. It was super weird, but the life and the further I was leaving Vietnam and closer I get into Ukraine, like there was less and less COVID, like around me. No mask, no restrictions. Like it was obvious changing. Like when I arrived to Kyiv, like I was the one in mask, I think. And yeah, and the first day I spent, like first 5 days, I spent with my family. I took my mom to manicure, pedicure, some beauty thing just to spoil her because she stayed like 2 years alone at home. It was hard. I also spent time with my family. We went to dinner with Granny. I was lucky to have a chance to quick catch up with my two pets just for like 1 hour each. And we were like planning to... We have a lot of time ahead of us because I quick catch up and then we were usually next week what we're going to do, movie, restaurant. The weather was nice. It was green, sunny, blue sky, peaceful. And it felt some tension in the air, really. So I took a picture and video of the city. We took a walk on the park because there were a lot of construction and repair in the city for the past 2 years. The Kharkiv was beautiful, really, before the war. A lot of renovations, a lot of flowers, trees, parks. We have new zoos. So we went to all that places. I went to my university, around the university, and the first love thing. So I took my mom for memory walk. We will have a nice day, nice afternoon. And then we came back home. And the father, he kept asking me every evening, you should leave. Like, that was insane. It's like, you come back home, they are all happy, you happy. But it's always the same conversation with father and mom. You should go, you should go, you should go. And then father told me that maybe you should take mom this time. Because in news, they went crazy, like on the last, when they make this independence bullshit, like 2 days before the war. So we already felt dangerous, but we never guessed Kharkiv. Also, father told me, no, I don't think they will shell in the cities. they will do something, but I don't believe they will do also Kharkiv. They cannot touch something we're guessing, we're talking, because father wake up very early, 5 a.m., only because of jet lag, daily talking. So the day, for the 5 days, every day started from the talking about this, the planning and the guesses and what will happen with father. So we had to make a plan with him that I should maybe talk mom. So we need to talk to company if Vietnam on my rent. But it's like, when we finish, something like that, asking for the property to buy, and then something weird. And then we went to the bed on 23rd, and the 24th I had a schedule for my photo shoot for myself. It's just like birthday present. And then I woke up like 5 minutes before 5. So the war started in the country like 5 a.m. Some areas a little bit earlier, but like everyone knew the war happening is 5 a.m. I woke up like 5 minutes before that. I don't know why. Maybe the jet lag, or maybe father was already downstairs, so some noise I heard. And the 5 minutes before that, I just like, oh, why so early? I need to keep sleeping. Father wake up. Maybe at least 7 a.m. I can wake up, because the jet lag was killing me. I don't like to wake up so early. And still dark outside because it's Ukraine. It's Europe. It's not Vietnam. So, and then, I couldn't sleep. And then 5 a.m. I heard the first explosion. And many people now in Ukraine, that people discussing where you've been when the war started, what you're thinking, did you understand this is that? Like many people say, no, I was confused. There's something it's not even some because depend on how far were you from the epicenter, the different sounds. And this is very unusual, obviously, sound to hear in the city. So people were confused. They didn't know what is that. I knew from the first sound. I don't know how. And in my heart immediately, that's it. There is no guesses. And then after the first bombing, a lot of them, boom. So my window was shaking. And then father, it took him maybe 30 seconds to also realize. And then he started to helicopter the war, we need to do something. And we were shocked. I mean, even
you were you were in the front of your mind, but at the same time you're not also expecting it.
No, it was even father. He's not military guy. He just did his duty in the Soviet time, but he very much military movie, army, shooting game of that. And then
it's good that shooting games can prepare you for war.
No, but I mean his brain was, and then he watching the news about the war since 2014. He every day. He know everything was going on. So he even already watching some interviews for people suggesting if war start, what you should do, all the instructions. So he was the one who's supposed to know what to do in our family. Mom, she was like a child, big eyes, and tell me what I need to do. I can't think. Me, I was more looking into the father, but more planning stuff. He was more big things, more strategic planning, but no one knew what we're gonna do. So he said, you need to pack something quickly, some luggage. I don't know what to do with you, la la la. And he started to call in some friends and checking on granny, wake up people, because maybe we're the first who hear things. Yeah, so we were packing very random stuff. Later on, we stayed in our area, and we came back home every single day for a shower or quick refresh or watch news on the TV. And then we also repacked our luggage every day. And every day we couldn't understand who packed this, why I need this. That was so messy. Your brain it's clear, you're really thinking very clear, but at the same time, you're not thinking properly. That is amazing thing. So my task was easy because I already have luggage with me and unpacked. So my Vietnam clothes are just some I don't need, because I was not thinking about Vietnam at that point. We were thinking about the winter. So my one is quick, but mom and father, they were messy packing. And then after we finished, we went downstairs in the living room, switch on a TV. But that time was still too early. Finished packing, I'm sorry, it was 3 minutes. Super fast. So we went downstairs, switched on the TV and waiting for any information, any news. And still too early for our date. And then maybe 10 minutes later, we saw in the subtitle, the war attack, more updates soon. And they started to share in which cities. So we knew that it's not a Kharkiv. It's basically every big city in Ukraine. And father, I cannot do any other things and to survive alone with granny at home or before I came. So also that is the reason maybe I think why I made a decision to come. Like I was thinking about the bullshit, like my father, shut up, please. What are you saying? But some piece of that stayed in my mind. So I knew that I need to be there to at least figure out something for mom and granny, because I understand men in this situation, they have totally different duty, and we cannot judge them as a woman. Like, you need to help me, save me. That is so selfish, and I respect. I understand that is his own decision. That is his own life. So, but he said, I now cuffed because you with me. I cannot do what I want. I need first to take you to the safety place. But where is safety? Where to go? Because no, we are blind. We don't know which way we go because we can go. Because where is the army, Russian or Ukrainian? Which road is safe to take? So we goes not a bit. So we sit at home waiting, and then like every 30 minutes, I think there were more bombing, and that was super scary. Later on, we get used to that. I need to say, but first day, like I was like where to go? We have a basement in our house, but it's not safe to hide there because it's like literally under the house. And if the missiles strike to house or nearby, and if the walls destroy, we will be buried alive there. So that is really the worst place to hide. So we couldn't. And then father keep calling to granny. She woke up. She said, you need to pack and wait, I will pick you up. And then, no, okay. So, but she was like started to have high pressure. She like 200 something. And then she started to stress. So we decided not to touch her now. She need to lie down, take pills. And then our neighbor came along. And then she said that you need to come to my house. My basement is more safe. It more looks like shelter. It's still basement, but protected in case if something happened, because it have an external entrance, not from the house. So she said, let's go there, stay home, and we will check in on you then. So we went, and then shelling and bombing were everywhere. It not were at our areas, but it was like 2 to 5 kilometers from us. It was still too close.
I just can't imagine. Like,
yeah, me too.
I mean, I'm sure you couldn't either till it happened, and then suddenly...
It was like, you can't... But you still somehow believe it's not going to hurt you. You don't have that death threat so close. But when I lose my shit, I'm sorry, when there was a jet, and I think it flew just over our house where we were there, in the basement at the time, because with a neighbor, they went to our house for coffee, because I brought Vietnamese coffee beans, and it saved us for 7 days, because we have at least 5 minutes every day, normality, coffee from machine, it was super delicious. And then my mom and another neighbor, they were, I think, at home, maybe cooking or something. And anyway, I was in the basement alone, and the door was open to the basement because it was very quiet that evening, and we don't have any siren. And then suddenly I started to hear that noise that before, and that sound. I literally thought that is like because I have no idea what is that. I no experience with the war, so I guess there's a bomb falling because the sound, and it was unbelievable loud. So I thought, that's it, I will die now, any second. When that was really very scary. I sit in the corner of the basement. Also the funny thing, because we're in the small society, like 5 of us, how everyone behave differently. I think this is like psychology, all the rules, they were applied to this kind of situation. Like I went quiet, I was just thinking and waiting. Father, pretty same as me. Mom, she time to time cry, but she also tried to be quiet. But then on the day 4, 6, everyone already lose, sometimes not arguing, but emotionally you can't hold it. And then our neighbors also, one went, fuck it, I will go sleep at home. And I know one is okay. In the news, and she was super stressed, super scary. And then she was so happy, she cried when that was our jet. That felt like, because they already started to use jet for attacking the residence area. So about how the things went from the day first, we stayed to sleep at the basement. All day was super long. We can't get many news. We can't know what is happening with our army. Are they standing? Are they alive? Or what happened? We just saw that bullshit that Putin said on his TV to his people, and that there will be strategic military object targeting. And on the first day, maybe that was the case, because what we knew, that first bombing we heard, it was all that military warehouse or airport, which were empty because we knew they will come. Now we know. That time we didn't know. But the Ukrainian very smart, so I love all my people very much, especially now, always, but now I admire them. So they was empty all that, almost all military objects they attacked on the first night, they were fake, kind of. They didn't use it for a long time, but Russian didn't know. So that our army had a chance to reply and defense. And then on the second day, I think we already started to get updates that things are not so bad in terms of our defense, and that we got this high. I don't have any. It's like similar maybe to when you watch the football and your team is winning or something. That kind of tension, but it's so close to death, life. So it's more sharp emotions. So we were like so high, like whenever we get any news, and the first day was like 800. We claimed that 800 Russian soldiers already died. And we were like, whoa, died that time. So, but we were like really up and down, but mostly up. And that positive and energy and happy was really one thing that helped us to get along with all the situation. But you want to eat? We didn't eat. We just drink water. I drank first day, I don't know how many liters, maybe 7. Like I was dry immediately. That's stress. Yeah. Also funny thing about stress, everyone, almost like 9 from 10 people we call, first hours after the bombing, everyone doing the same toilet. Your body relax everything. So we can't stop toilet. Not water, other thing, another number. Everyone, my granny, my best friends, my neighbors, like even men, doesn't matter.
So there was a toilet paper shortage, but not because of COVID?
No, it's like stress. Really is, but you can't really control it. Is like you want water and toilet. That is for first hour what we did was checking the news.
I would have been drinking vodka non-stop.
No, there is no. My father and neighbor, they touched alcohol first time maybe on the day 3 and 4. But again, because we can't eat, because we don't hungry, so they just smell similar to Vietnamese people. Because we drink vodka quite normal, easy. That is like routine drink for dinner. So they're not so easy to get drunk. But because maybe food in the stomach, one shot and they already were happy. It was uncomfortable. And then mom and the another that they were fighting and complaining because you need to protect us, but you're now so comfortable because they're just like TV and the bombing somewhere, background, and we are losing shit and running downstairs watching the news. That's our boys' routine. Don't worry. It was crazy. And I first thought it's okay, but then when one time I was on the street because we were walking from our home to our neighbor house because it's just same small street, and then they started shooting. So I heard the noise from not inside, not in the basement, but being outside. I stay in the basement most all of the time. That was really enough. It's like you become animal, you just want to run, hide. And then we were lucky to observe on, I think it was day 3rd, when people from Chechnya, they tried to came inside the city. Few groups, because they had their strategy, they thought they can win Kharkiv. So there were city battles. And we were lucky because we are kind of on the hill. And we can't see, but we heard like AK, bombs, like barbecue. I'm sorry, it's evil. It's no good to say, but it was already day 4. We have no emotion, just hate, angry. So we were sitting like on the barbecues, chairs like that, and watching the fire, because then we knew that our army, they destroyed the building where they were hiding. All day they were trying to fight. They were hiding in the school. At night, later they say they came at night, they make a base in the school. They put all their weapons, bullets, all that at school. So in the morning when other groups came, they supposed to come to that, and that should be their center. That is how they were planning to win the Kharkiv, kind of. So all the day, our people, our army and territorial army, they were fighting, and we were like just listening. But it was very comfortable noise. I really need to say, because we knew what happened. And then very late evening, like 6-7 p.m., our army destroyed the city, no choice, and there was huge explosion and fire. We were just watching that barbecue. Yeah, the pictures was terrible, and in some way you can enjoy pictures of your enemy like that. I'm a girl. I never see my alive dead body, really, never. Even some relative. I never been on funeral even, and just in the movie something you saw.
I'm the same. I've never seen it.
Yeah. So, but your enemy, no head, no legs, whatever, you can watch alone.
And you saw that like with your own eyes?
On the phone, I mean, on the screen. I mean, if I see in my own life, maybe I lose control. But on the picture, on the screen, you can watch it alone. You like, not enjoying, but kind of you want to know how they died. I don't understand why. Because we're all humans.
It makes sense if someone's attacking you.
Yeah, but you don't know them, and you don't think they are families, they are mothers. You don't have that sympathy. This is actually terrible because this is not supposed to happen in 2022. And you discover new about yourself also, that you can be that person. So, yeah, and the Kharkiv was under, like the residence area started to be under attack on the day 2nd. And we live, I told you, very near to that residential area called Sokyrka. That is the largest, I think, in Kharkiv. That is, before the war, 500 or 600 residents living in that residence area. It was built 1970s, all the same buildings, no military objects, like schools, hospitals, supermarkets. So they all start to shoot in that residence, and we started to understand that, wow, that is going to be... We knew about Russian, that thing, because we had 2014, but we never could believe that they will be that much evil to, especially Kharkiv. That is their Soviet city, what they say. They come to rescue, liberate us. We are all Russian, so we already started to feel dangerous. And everyone we know who have at least some military connection, everyone said to us, you should stay and don't go anywhere at least for 1 week or so, on 10 days. That is the phase number 1. It's dangerous to go. At home is the most safe. And our army also said there is. You must stay in the shelter, hiding. If you don't have a base or no shelter nearby you go to the subway, because that is very important for survival, for civilian. And then after 7 or 10 days, they will be more clear and they will pass how to live, which way is safe, which is not. And my father, as I told you, he wanted to go army, so we didn't know that, but he did. He called, they called to the office, they want to come, but the office said, we have too many people want to come. Like it was, all Ukraine. Even the Ukrainian who live overseas, like me, we have for now, I think more than 200,000 men come back. That is unbelievable. So they say we have a lot of people who want to join. Now we actually have even like filter. We only take in those who have a real experience or know how to do with gun. You are 55-year-old guy. Thank you very much. But go home. We will call you.
Oh, don't call us. We'll call you.
Don't come here. We got your details. That's what he got. The best way you can do, they give you the AK and you stuck in the office, the head office, the headquarters of the city, but you're not allowed to leave. So that is also not the option for us because he still don't know how he do with us. So then he started to volunteer. He has a friend who been volunteer since 2014. His connection with an organization, Reliable. Those organizations, people who organized everything. And they said, we need the people with the cars because many people left on the first day in a panic. And obviously also city have no gas, no petrol because all the gas stations were empty on the first hour. But if you do have anything in your tank and if you have SUV at least, not sedan, then we need your help. So they started to going out every day. But the job was like you take something from one address and drop it on another address, including the army. And so they feel, I think for men, it's really important. They all started to do this, all their friends, they were volunteer. Most of them still there in Kharkiv and they're doing this every day. So that is very important thing. So he found something to do. And the thing they were delivering also very important, something for heating or food, medications. And after that, when army don't need, because army start to get also supplies more centralized, they help into the people to evacuate them or something delivery. But for our case, father only did it for a few days. And then on the day 6, the bombing already were very close to us. They destroy my university. They destroy our headquarters, like city hall, all the city center, the one that is not Soviet It's a very old, like the oldest part of the Kharkiv, opera house, all that. And the bomb was so close to us already. Father started to say, we need thinking how we take you out. And then we knew there is a railway station. Every day, people evacuation happening. I think you saw the footage of the people on the railway station.
Yeah, and I was just going to add as well, I mean, so you're going into way more detail than I knew about. But for anyone listening, so myself and Adri were in constant communication with you, which we were so grateful that there was still communication, and we couldn't believe that. I was like, we would have been beside ourselves if the like mobile communications had gone down. So you were kind of giving us updates throughout this, and then we were just glued to the news, you know, like just CNN on basically 24 hours a day. And from a purely selfish point of view, I mean, I was looking and I'm like, I can't believe I know someone in a war zone right now. Obviously, my concern was for you, but at the same time, I'm like, this is insane. You know, your whole life, there's been wars going on.
It's not online show. It's really live.
Yeah, I'm like, right now, my friend is messaging me from the basement and whatnot. So you had to ask her then, at what point did you realize, okay, we need to leave Kharkiv?
Decision. I was not ready to leave. I don't know. Maybe that is.
You would have stayed longer.
We'll be right back.
Join pilot and adventurer Fernando Pino as he takes you on journeys to discover exciting destinations across the UK and Europe. You'll fly with him to hidden gems and experience local culture, from bustling streets to serene hideaways and the best places to eat, sleep, and play. Travel Plans is more than a podcast. It's your ticket to exploring the world and its history with a friend. In this episode, we are flying to discover a beachside paradise perfect for the whole family. Discover golden sands, activities galore, and even free childcare so you get your own break too. Why am I still here?
You can't take the decision on some point because the shelter is somehow safe. I think there is a psychology explanation for that, because we were like we are not adult, like we are 5 years old kids.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you can't make decision to leave or stay. You want someone to say to you what to do. So mom and me were like looking at the father, and father is so hard. After that I said sorry. No, we understand that is our psychology, but we couldn't make decision. He was convincing us to go, and we say no, we can't. We're scared. How we go railway station? What if they bomb it? Because they already have attack on the bus. You see, and you put us on there, and you leave, and how? And we don't know. We also had discussions with mom when we were alone, how we would trick father to go. How we do it, because he kept telling that he's staying, but we knew we can't. So mom also, how we should lie to him something. We should not tell him that he will go back, and then when he will be with us on the way, we will try to convince him, something like that. And I told my mom that you do whatever you want. This is your man, but you should be ready. He can leave. That we try. I promise we try, but you must be ready, and you find peace with that. That he has right to decide not to come or come back.
And also, so your father's 55, and from like day one, they were like, you can't leave Ukraine if you're under 60, right? And me was under 60, so there was never an option for him to leave the country, but you could leave Kharkiv, right?
I was not even thinking about Vietnam at that point. That all life things in the 5 a.m. disappeared. I don't care anything that time. My plans, where I go, my work, salary.
Yeah, of course. None of that becomes relevant.
Nothing. You only thinking what I need in the basement. You can't plan it for next day even. So yeah, father started to like talking to us about you guys leaving on the day 5, I think, and we were like no, because the option that he offered us, we were still not. It's not the picky, but we really. The options that he gave to us was like me and mom only, and no God know how where. And again, we're sitting in the basement all the time. Even we have internet, we have no idea what happened in the big world. So in my imagination, they war everywhere. So if we go out from the basement, this is the only safety area you have, like dark corner. So we like no, we cannot. And then someone said to him that many people and still every day living by car, and lucky father had gas enough to drive us to 200, 300 kilometers from the city to another town, the big one. So he said, okay, I drive you there and then I come back. And then we like, okay, we tried to convince him on the way. That was our schedule. And then on the last day, there was already clear that Vietnam will take my mom. They confirm. And then I said to father, actually they say we take all of you, granny, mom, and father can't leave. Granny say, what? So it's only me and mom. And I said to father, this is option. How you think? And he said, we do. We go. And we have some friend who got his wife transferred to Poland border. And then she's already in Poland. So he know the way, how to do. So he had another wife and kid of our friend that he need to go to Poland border. So they ask that day, your girls coming or no, because I'll drive them there. And then father say yes. But then the husband of that wife, who the friend is driving, he's staying in Kharkiv. He's sending his wife and child with his friend. So he called my father and said, can you go with him? I don't trust him. I mean, he will lose shit on the way. He will, I mean, I'm not believing my woman and daughter in a safe with him. I need you to pay. Can you please? Because you have your own. Don't let them go without attention. Because that guy it's not his fault. First week, he stayed in the basement, like in the epicenter. So in the basement.
Like mentally unstable.
He already broken.
Right.
No, he's stable, but he already potentially yes, because the location where they were hiding in his home, in the basement, the bombing was so close. So even all the pickles and all things that you keep in the basement, all the glasses, they fall down. One bomb and everything fall down on him. So the level. I mean, you measure it by the level of noise and shaking. So our case, it was still like not the fireworks, of course, but not like somebody falling from the shell. So he was there. So he really got lost already. So he's super scared. So that's why he's the one who driving and he happy to go. Like
right.
Yeah, he can't stay.
Did you say drunk driving?
No, happy to go. He doesn't want to stay.
I thought you said he was drunk driving.
I think almost drunk, but for the other alcohol, not the real one. Yeah, so, and anyway, that friend asked my father, I suggest you go with your women and then you come back, something like that. And father said, okay, I drive you to west, to Lviv, and then from Lviv, you will have someone to transfer you to the Poland border, and then in Poland, you figure out something like that. So we were thinking that as a scenario possible on the day 6. And on the day 7, finally, father convinced my granny, because she was still in her apartment in the Sokyrka region, which is very close to to convince her. She agreed to come to our house.
I remember the time you were messaging, like, granny won't leave her apartment.
She's on the 11th floor.
11th floor.
Because everyone's just staying and they have gas, electricity, power, so I feel like normal. It's also, I think that the same I told you, that your home is a safe. And we still have it now in the Donbas area where we have now second phase. And our government asking, urging people, leave. Don't stay. You saw Bucha and other things. But people, they are not easy to give up.
You see the same in like natural disasters, like hurricanes and tornadoes. They're like, leave your house, there's a hurricane coming. They're like, no, I'll just stay here. Which that shit blows your mind, right?
I think you just, maybe that's similar to what we feel in the shelter. You just can't make that decision. That you're so scared that you are not ready to leave your comfort zone.
Yeah. And I think that makes sense.
And you find many reason and explanation for that. So that's why it's important to have someone who can drag you and like put you in the safe.
Yeah.
So father was nearby already to drag granny, but finally in the morning she called and said, maybe yes, I'm ready, but I'm not going to basement. No, I will be in your home, okay, in the house. Our house is full of glasses and the windows. That is really... but better, because it's a little bit far from the epicenter.
And not the 11th floor.
The 11th floor. Yeah, so he took her home, and then 1 hour later, in her area, there was shelling, and the windows, she lost the windows and balcony.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in her apartment, just like 1 hour after. That was like so lucky. And that bomb, it's just 1 kilometer from our home. It's super close. And we already know people. We call them and they don't pick up the phone.
I'm looking out the window, like I can see a kilometer away.
Yeah. You see the smoke. And we have a friend, my godfather, godmother, they live in that area. We calling them, they don't pick up the phone. no reception. So we already were very shitty. Sorry if I can use this word. We're very scared. And then finally they all pick up the phone because they in the school basement there is a shelter in the district. So everyone was safe, but most of them no windows in that apartments. And then father already feel like we need to go. That moving already to us, and there's no logic. They're not just moving, just randomly. And we asking, do we have any infrastructure hub nearby? And then mom said, yes, we have that. We have a market, and it's not public information. So there is some hub for some communication things. So they may target there, and they did it a few days later. That was a very big shelling when we already were not in Kharkiv. So yeah, we actually not much safe here. And then a friend of father called him and said, hey, I just left the city. This road is safe. Go now if you want. And then already was 2 p.m. and we have court face. So that is like 6 p.m. that time. So literally we have few hours to go and reach to the other city. And we took decision like in 5 minutes. Like in the middle. You don't have time to thinking. So you just like, yes, there we go. And then we come home. We are packing what we packed already, which after that we find out we didn't pack anything for father. Like we packed something, but nothing important. So we need to shopping for him after we arrived to the western city. We're shopping for him for survival, socks, underwear, all that we didn't take. But mom take an eye, perfume, makeup, all important for survival. Oh my God, that was really, your brain's just not thinking more than like 1 second ahead of you. And then we came home and Granny cooking borscht for us, at home. And then she said, Granny, you take your bags, we leaving. And then she was like, no. We were ready with that. We before blackmailing her, begging her, crying her. We already like aggressively talking to her father already say, if you die I don't care, or all that words we try to use to make her feel emotional and a little bit soft and break so we can catch that moment and take her. No, doesn't work. Many old people staying like that in Kharkiv and in the countryside villages, towns. It's just not ready. They can't understand why they are going to die wherever it is. So now or later, so they say like that. So that was very heartbroken, and I feel very guilty since then till now. Not only for that, for many reasons. I think that is nature also for this kind of situation for victims and refugees. We feel guilty and shamed. We left and we are safe, but others not. But that is your personal matter. So anyway, we left, and father drive us empty city. We first time saw city. Not from the basement and the news, and it looks normal. The road that father took out, there were no bombing there, so it looks why Kharkiv, same. But then I saw another tank, and then all asphalt roads destroyed because of tank is too heavy, and then all roads were just rebuilt like last 2-3 years. So all that destroyed. Tank, then checkpoint. And on every checkpoint, we need to slow down, open the window, show our face, the passport, because there were a lot of spies and betrayal. They catch in every day till now. And we have two women. If father alone, they will stop him asking, checking, but we understand we are family. So another checkpoint, and on the last checkpoint, that was the most sharp, guilty moment for me. Still now, that is very painful. Even some way, different painful, maybe more painful than the family that we not together. On the last checkpoint, there was the guy, soldier, and then we opened the windows, we show our passports, and then we are leaving, like we are running away, like rats from the ship. That's what I feel, like I'm rat running. And then the guy, he's so young, I know, 20, 30s, he's so strong, handsome. And then he smiled to us, looked at me, and he said, good luck, drive safe. And that is, that time, first time, I felt like my eyes wet. I didn't cry. But that time, I can't talk to him because my parents here, I cannot say anything to make him worry about my condition. But in my heart, I was like, I was begging for forgiveness, and I'm sorry I'm leaving. I can't help anyway. I can't do anything. I'm not a soldier. What I can do is only volunteer or this kind of job. But first thing is safety for your own family and people. That is at least you can. I can't do, but I felt so terrible. He is staying, he's smiling, he's brave. He's gonna die, most probably. He had a lot of chances to die. Hope not, of course. And then that was very painful, very difficult. And then we drove. It was crazy. Father say I have like literally 5 kilometers more, and then I have no gas. And they're like, oh, yeah.
I get nervous in Saigon when my gas is at red on my motorbike and there's gas on every corner. And
then in the field and the war anymore. And all this car in the same condition. But also one thing about this kind of stress. Our nation, we known for fighting with each other in the peaceful time. We always political, whatever. We kind of like tension all the time. Our relationship, not much like each other. In daily life, kind of competition thing. But this situation, we are totally changed. We all united. So on the road, because also the driving style of Ukrainian is very wild.
Oh, really?
And then if somebody make mistake, believe me, they will tell you that.
Right.
Even sometimes show you that. But there was super stress. Everyone's stuck. I think everyone have the same issue, no gas and no supply, don't know where to go. But everyone patient, waiting. Mm-hmm. Please go, please. If somebody broken, if they start, even someone there was a lot of trucks already started delivering humanitarian help aid. So if they see that, like before in normal life, you see ambulance, you try to give your way. This time was for every truck, humanitarian aid or whatever, because it's food supply going from one city to another. Everyone just give the way for the trucks. No one complained, nothing. So we made it up by end of the day, and by end of starting the cafe. To Dnipro is another town, also very large one. And we have our relatives there, so we stayed there for one night. And then from that moment, 7 days later, I got to Warsaw.
Well, I was going to say, I remember at this point when you got to Dnipro, you shared this app with us that we could track where Nasta was and where she was going on the map. And it was crazy just to watch. And we were checking and we're like, oh, she's here now, she's here. Oh, she's not moved. Okay. And I do remember there was quite a funny bit. You were driving and it even showed you the speed you were driving at. And I think it was like 100 kilometers an hour. And I was like, don't drive too fast. You're going too fast. And then there was another one. It was like 9 kilometers. I was like, what are you doing?
Traffic jam everywhere. We literally did like 200 kilometers a day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Wow.
There was so long line of cars with dogs, cats, kids. It was so... But it was not yet the most terrible thing I saw. The most terrible thing I thought was on the border to Ukraine, Poland. That was, I feel like I'm in the movie, but the movie that we watch in like Schindler List or something, like the one that you see and thinking, why human doing this to each other? That 20th century was so wild and cruel. Thanks God we are another generation. We live in another time. We already know all these things, right? We learned. No, that is, and this is my people. It's not movie or news. That is my people. And I saw people on the wheelchair, a lot of kids, all kids. And then the border difficult to cross. It was a long queue. We spent only on the border 25 hours. But we already were on the bus. We separated with father in Ternopil. We a little bit changed our plan because we found that from Ternopil there is a bus to Rzeszów, that is Poland already. So we can cross the border by a bus and no need to worry who will pick us up, or we just get to the Rzeszów. And then I found from my friend in London, she have someone in Poland. This is how everything works. You have someone. So kind people in Poland, they said that we will deliver you. You just need to arrive to Warsaw. And then from Warsaw, we will drive you to your home where we stayed for the past next month. So yeah, border was insane. 25 hours in the bus, very cold. No toilets, only the gas station, and you need to queue. And you can't go even on the bush because this is already border is already all clean. Before they have some forest there, but they already clean it. So we were like, okay, we're not drinking water because you really don't know where to go.
Yeah.
For kids it's easy, but for the adults it's a little bit. But at that point already, your father also told us when we were driving from Kharkiv to Ternopil for 5 days, and then he already told us that, okay, you forget all that things, you can't show your butt on the street, okay? You will gonna show it because there is no toilet on the road. Yeah. So no looking for any comfortable, don't wait. You want, you do now. There is no time, this is the war. Mm-hmm. And then everything we ask in something different condition, something uncomfortable, unusual for you, there will be always same answer. This is the war. Mm. This is the war. This is unbelievable that you hear this. So we made it through the border. We arrived to also the border. It was from Ukrainian side. It was massive. I don't know how many thousands people were there. They were in the car, on the bus, and the worst is pedestrian. So we were sitting in the bus. We at least were warm for 25 hours. But the women, mostly women and kids and elders, they were standing in minus that time 5 to 10 for also same time as us. Mm. That is heartbreaking, and you can't help them because the bus already full, though they have already all the jackets, and it's really refugees. You see there is refugee people. Mm. On the bus you still like travel, but that one is refugee. But a lot of volunteers, a lot of hot food, so they are, because the village is around, people just cooking a lot of food, hot sandwiches and soup or borscht, something, and they hot tea, coffee, and they're free of charge. They just give it to everyone. So that was helping a lot. And then when we made it through the border in Poland, it also was touching, because when you finish with passport control, the passport condition, they didn't care. You don't need, because we have ID card, we have the passport that you can travel overseas, and we also have old style passport that you, even in Ukraine, we try to get rid of this. It's still applicable, but it's not suitable for overseas. And mostly all old people or from the countryside people, they carry those. And Poland say whatever document you have, you will go good to go. No need COVID, so that whole thing was cancelled. No question asked, nobody asking you anything. You just come, welcome. So when we made it with the passport, there was another room where you're waiting for all from your bus, because it is how they do on the road. You're waiting for all of the bus people to finish and put in control, so they'd have some room. And they set up, Polish volunteers, they set up coffee, sandwiches, snacks. And then there was a guy, officer, also very young boy. He was holding the box with the chocolate candies, and he gave it to every single child he saw. And our language is very similar. We understand Polish, Ukrainian. And then he learned even some Ukrainian word, and he say something, don't cry, and then proшу, and then it's like, take it, please. Here you. There is, you can't believe in humanity anymore, because you know what they do in your country, the other people, how they do, what they do. It's not just, they don't understand, it's not our news who make fake into your stories. We talk to people. You can't hide in the truth from the people. So we're sharing. We know what they say, what they do, how they behave. So no humanity there. It's like war in the 15th century, you know? And then you, on the other side, you regain all this belief in humans when you meet the Poland and the support of European Union also as well. There is, it's like up, down, this crazy roller coaster for your, like all the picture of the world in your mind were destroyed and then rebuilt again. So, and anyway, we arrived to the railway station in the city, not Warsaw, that was Rzeszów. And immediately there were tons of volunteers, they were wearing the jackets. And you just show a little bit confused face, like which way I should go. Immediately they take you. Oh, please come. And then they have a warm food. If you need some shampoo, soap, eating, drinking, this is here you are. So what is your plan? Do you know where you're going? If you know, there is not one way. If you don't know, don't worry, we take you. And all very patient, very comfortable. They hug you. I was like holding myself. I was like looking good. Like I was just trying to be strong for mom. Mom was like that. She was not strong. So they were hugging her and talking to her. And anyway, we get and they say, okay, give me your passport. I get you a train ticket because it's free at the time. I think now it's the same. And I say, no, can I do it myself? I feel uncomfortable. Yeah. I can speak English or even I can speak Ukrainian. We understand each other. Yeah. Please, I can do. And okay, at least take the SIM card. Free. And they were, okay, thank you. We need SIM card. And they make already special package like Wiener phone, that special Ukrainian package. where you have a few gigabytes of internet, and most important, you have like 500 or 700 minutes to call into Ukrainian number free of charge, no roaming.
Yeah.
Also, Ukrainian, our mobile operator, once we crossed the border, they gave us also same. You always see, free, you use. So that was very helpful. Really, like businesses thinking about that thing is unbelievable, like really very important. So we got our tickets, and then we had to wait for 6-7 hours for our train. Even it was 5 a.m., but it was too early. And I said, don't worry, you don't need to stay here. We take you to the shelter. We have some place you can rest, you can take a nap, maybe eat and shower or something. And they took us to the shelter, something looking like the COVID hospital. I guess it may be used as a COVID hospital before. So a lot of bench beds, more like a camp.
Yeah.
A lot of kids, a lot of women. Dogs, cats. It's so cute. Like everyone take their pets with them, and also the pet behave like he know she knows what to do. She like no make any problem. Very patiently waiting with her owner or his owner. So yeah, and we spent there a few hours. We just take a quick nap on the floor on the bench, and then they have also warm food, all that. And then I was on the mask all the time because I still had no COVID. And then when we arrived at the shelter, there was like, I think Ukrainian guy who lived long time in Poland. He'd look at me. There is no COVID anymore. And I was like, oh yeah, I know, but I feel like so many people, but no one wearing masks. That is COVID finished. We find the best medicine, and not the villain vaccine, the best medicine against COVID. War. 5 a.m. first bomb. What COVID?
Yeah, priorities change.
Finish, really. I still carry mask.
Yeah.
With me, Korean one that is like a KF94, like N95 in America. So I still carry them with me, and I wearing them in the bus. I wore them on the bus, and mom, but it didn't help. We got COVID, which we found out later when we arrived to Warsaw. So I talking to my father. He said, "Pak, you think in your destiny, you get the worst thing, war." And then pandemic, the virus, you got it also. And then mom also, she fall down on the bus station, and then she hurt her teeth and face. So when we wake up one morning, her face were all like nice. Like, so she like, you like literally running away from the war, and you got also virus. So we couldn't get to Vietnam so soon. We were stuck but it was okay. I mean,
yeah, that delayed your departure. I remember messaging, you were leaving in like 2 days, and then you were like, nope, we're not leaving. We just got COVID, so now we're gonna wait till when they get it.
Yeah, that was.
Which is just like an ultimate kick in the teeth, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but we took time to like not find a peace of mind, because it's impossible right now. But at least we could sleep without bombing. And then the first week, most me and mom already okay. Mom still have it when she heard track some noise similar a little bit to that, it triggering you. That you like first second trigger, and then you understand. Okay, there is nothing, but still triggering you.
Well, how is it here in Vietnam? Because I know where you live, there's lots of trucks and obviously generally traffic and lots of noise. How are you and your mom doing now?
Yeah, when we in a part, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I think I figure out this thanks to this situation. I figure out that I'm quite strong mentally and very good control myself. Mom, she not so easy with traffic outside, okay. But when we at home, and then because I live in District 7, there are a lot coming there. So if the truck if it's loaded, I think with some product.
No, it makes a lot. I mean, I've lived in D7 and I know that street.
Yeah, so
and
the
there's a
boom.
lot of big trucks go through there.
I don't hear it anymore.
You've zoned out now.
Yeah,
You've been in
Mom,
Vietnam too long now.
Yeah,
You're proper Vietnamese if you zone out
maybe,
noise.
Yeah. I already know how to switch off my ears. But Mom, she's like, what is that? But she also, like, it's 1 second and then you understand. Yeah. Or if she was at home when I was in office, she stayed alone home, and there was a fire alarm in apartment. But it is normal because I think the smoke detector too sensitive. And even I had a few times already caused the fire alarm because of smoking, the cooking something.
I've done it here as well, yeah. So I've had the guards at the door because I burnt some popcorn, and I was like, I was like, you had popcorn as well?
No, I was doing this rice chips, Vietnamese rice chips with shrimp, and I put not enough oil. So the security came, so my burnt chips look at me, take a picture, I think they laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I told to my mom before that story, and I said to her, like, every 2 weeks, I think, someone cooking and the fire alarm will broke. That is normal. I didn't tell her, don't worry. I was telling her that as a funny story.
Right.
But because she already knew, but she said, first few seconds, I was like, they're like siren or something. What is it? But then she's like, okay. Thanks God I told her,
if you hadn't. Yeah.
If I hadn't, what she would think about how she do. She very now broken and vulnerable and sensitive for many reasons. She very used to Vietnam. She been here long before I came. Like she was in 2002. She very familiar. She never have any problem. Now she feel insecure and stress. And I need to push her go out, to try go to the supermarket. And then she's like, okay, I will try to find a way.
Yeah.
And she's really lost. She want to go home. I promise her that I also believe that, I know that we will come back home. Just for now, we need to be safe. Yeah. And also because we have a job here, this is also to support father and granny. So for my family now, mom is with me here. My granny is in Kharkiv, still in our home.
Not in the basement.
She go in every night now.
She is? No.
Yeah, because it's not easy. Yeah. So we're happy she a little bit gave up that point. We every day keep asking her. We have many chances to take her out, bus, people, train. Every day, if somebody leaving, call father and asking, because they know. She still say, no, don't ask me. So I try not to argue with her with that. I want to be a comfortable person. Yeah. And the father live with his father.
Live with it.
Like bad cop and good cop. So she's at home. Kharkiv is still under shelling every day. A few times it was very near to our house, and that time she was really worried. She now sleep at the basement. At least this is we can. But every day, every moment, you check in the news, and every morning I check in, Granny, how are you? And father, he is in the western part of Ukraine. He got some job there, some simple, like few $100 only, but just to do something. To help, that is job, but
he's no longer in Kharkiv.
No, that is job, but he helping refugees at the camp, the hotel where they're hosting refugees from also our cities. Yeah. So he's a driver, work as a driver there. We're very happy with his mom that he changed his mind and he doesn't want to come back to Kharkiv. I mean, he won't. But he understand that if he come back, he will be just target. Yeah. You can't go to army, they don't take you. Yeah. There is a lot of volunteers now, and also not so many things he can help. Only as a driver maybe. But if he do come back, it basically you just waiting when the bomb will come. Yeah. And he said, I can't be a victim. I don't want to be a victim. I want to see we win, something like that. So he's staying there. Luckily, we have some mom friends who agreed to host him, to allow him to live with them. So he is also hard time because that job is not easy. He's driving some truck, and it's like old Soviet one that don't have ABS. So he every day have a shoulder and back pain, but work hard, busy. Yeah. But at least doing something and just waiting for this to be finished. I don't want to think about like my father at 55 years. I'm young, I'm 30, I can do many things in my life. I can change my life like many times if I want. I have all the time. But in their lifetime, they went through terrible Soviet occupation. Even they didn't realize it was occupation, we know now. But they were never supporting to that government. They didn't know they support or not support, but they never be happy fully. They understood something. And then they went through 1991 and 1990s where no money and they worked so hard. And that house where in Kharkiv that we have, that is my father's second baby. He worked so hard. He got it when he was 40 something. That was like his milestone. Like in the middle age crisis, that was his safe boat kind of. He achieved that one. And that is also our heritage because that land he grew up on that, and that was before house of my great grandparents there. So that all I working for that, my mom and him together. And any moment it can be vanished, destroyed, and then we don't know how to get, because 55 is in Ukraine that is already the age you're thinking about, like old. They think in themselves we already old. So how to live, how to survive. So now I have more headache and thoughts on my head. What should I do? How can I after we win? How to figure out? Definitely come back home. I already make myself decision once it's possible and safe to take my mom and me. I finish my Vietnam expat life and I want to be home. I never wanted to go home as much as I want now. I live here 8 years, as we said, and every year I came home for annual leave and happy 1-2 weeks and then finish. Tired. That we have many reasons in Ukraine before. I can't find my place. I couldn't find my place in Kharkiv especially for many reasons. And then this time, like I wanted to stay. And crossing the border was very difficult. Like when I started to saw Poland, Polish flag and all that. And that was the hard. Also one of the two emotional points. I don't know why, I'm not so emotional with the family. One of that soldier on the checkpoint and another one we were on the plane, leaving the Warsaw to Doha. And already were like dark night, everyone sleeping. I couldn't sleep. And when you're bored on the plane, you don't want to watch movie, you just switch the map, right, to see where you are. And then I switched the map and I saw Ukraine. That the time, just because we were flying just on the left, like the Turkey side, and the map opened to Ukraine, and I see like my plane, and every second it's more and more, and I understood that, God, can be like, I don't know when I will be seeing this opposite direction, when I will be approaching my land. That was also second emotional, little bit wet my eyes. I don't know why. I may be too patriotic rather than for family thing. Like my family, I worry and I stress, but I can't show my emotions. But these kind of things, like I couldn't like control.
But it's good to let your emotions out. You're very strong. You're very stoic.
Yeah, but these symbolic things,
I think that's
breaking
makes
me.
sense. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing the story with me. I obviously have lived through a little bit, but I really do appreciate hearing it from you. Thank you for sharing it with our listeners as well.
Sorry, it was a little bit messy. I have no list of
that's
plan. What should I say after what?
No. So first of all, for anyone who doesn't know, Anastasia is an incredible photographer. You've been to many of my events. I've got some incredible pictures from you, and so I appreciate that. And you do amazing portraits of people. So if you are interested in booking Anastasia as a photographer, go check out the link in the notes for the podcast, because there will be a link there. And you're giving all the money you make from photography right now to Ukraine as well, which is amazing. I've got you booked for an event coming up. We had you at an event last week, so we're able to support Ukraine that way. But also as well, we really do want people not to forget about the war in Ukraine. It's been 56 days now today. And as Anastasia has been pointing out on social media, it's really easy to forget about it, even for myself, because you're home and you're safe. It's not finished, but also there's only so much bandwidth you can put to this. Yeah, you just can't, right? But unfortunately for you, you can't switch off because your people are there. But we don't want people to forget about it. It's still going on, and Ukrainian people still need support as well. And so if you want to talk a little bit, just briefly about the support that's still needed, and then we'll also put a link in the notes for the podcast episode so people can donate as well. So if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, definitely I want. So the Ukraine needs help. But a part of the arm and military help that our government finally get access to, that is let's government and big boys dealing with. But it's a personal decision for everyone to support army or no. But the most important also is humans and refugees, and also people who stay in Ukraine. Like my granny is okay, but also a lot of people who have no family to help them. There are a lot of organizations in Ukraine and overseas who coordinating help and volunteering for delivery, whatever things needed. I shared with you the link with a list of trustworthy organizations for different charities, both Ukrainian and international. I would urge to avoid donating to large international funding like Red Cross or UN, because that money will come not immediately to the people. Preferred would be small organization of people on the ground who knowing what they need, so they will be doing it faster. But do check if it's reliable or not fake, because unfortunately humans are still human. But the link I will share is reliable, and there are a lot of different ways you can find how to send money. It can be bank transfer, it can be your credit card, or it even PayPal, crypto also.
I saw that, yeah, you can donate with crypto. I was like, wow, 2022.
Yeah, so for me personally, what I do is, yes, as you said, I donate 100% of income that people pay for photography if I have the photography job time to time. I try also to, yesterday for example, I found it very cute and handy. One of my favorite coffee shop in Kharkiv, they already open operation, but they're not serving on site. It's mostly for delivery. And mostly what they're doing is they're not making coffee. They're not filtering anything. They just have a bean. So they are selling beans if you have a coffee machine at home. So what the initiative they have is you can buy on the website coffee, like or 1 cup or coffee bag, and one bag is 10 cups of filter coffee. You can buy online, 1 bag, 1 cup, whatever you want, how much, it doesn't matter. You pay, and then next morning they deliver it to army hot coffee, because in Kharkiv they support. So I yesterday bought I thought 20 guys to this morning will have nice coffee. This kind of thing, you helping myself firstly.
Yeah.
I need to say that to help me to go through that guilt and shame, I still don't know. I maybe need help in the future with that. But it's also important that small things. But for refugees is 7 million Ukrainian refugees now in Europe and the world, and yet world helping them. But for example, one thing, when we were running away, it was late February, early March. It was still winter in -10 something. But now you can easily recognize, if you're watching from Europe where you see Ukrainian refugees around, you easily can recognize them because they're wearing too warm clothes. Maybe now already changed, but when we were in Poland, we were one of that. You can easily see people from Poland and Ukrainian refugees, because a lot of Ukrainians live in Poland before the war. But you can see because we're all wearing winter clothes, but even it's already warm. So this kind of stuff, all this organization helping to get clothes, food for the kids. Kids is the most. There's a lot of orphans right now, a lot, and post medication. So it's both in people in Ukraine to people overseas refugees. You can find an organization that suits most of you. Maybe you want to help in medication, or just kids, or humanitarian, or army as well. For example, I also trying to support a change in occasion, like this today might go this way, another this way. So one organization I also support is they call Return Alive, or Come Back Home Alive. They're not government one, but they approved by government. They cooperate with the army, but they're not buying them any weapon thing because it is of course illegal. What they do buy for them is something to save their life, like the bulletproof things, and some glasses and helmets, cars, clothes, all that thing, something to help them survive, because still we have too many people want to go army but not enough. It's like everything is just too crazy and too soon, so planning is not ideal. So yeah, I will appreciate if you will take your time, go to the link, read about opportunities and chances and places where and how you can donate. Find, if you feel you want to help, please do. Ukraine, we will win. We are strong. I think not in the world, no one believe otherwise right now. Even we were not sure. Everyone, I mean, not 100%. But we still need some help for our people who not as lucky, for example, as I am.
All right, amazing. Well, thank you. And please check out the link. Please give what you can. Anastasia, thank you so much for doing this. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been so happy in my life to see someone. I'm so glad you got back. And to finish just on an amusing point, that app that you shared that we could track you with, so that's still active? And I get notifications when your phone battery is dying. I keep meaning to turn it off. I get a notification saying your phone is at 10% battery. And I keep meaning to message and be like, charge your phone, Nasta. So I need to delete that app. I don't actually follow your whereabouts, but I don't think your whereabouts are very...
To delete that, mom. Yeah, I actually keep it for mom.
Yeah.
Just in case in Vietnam I can track her.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, but you should remove.
I'm going to do that now. All right, thank you so much and have an amazing day. And I hope your mum settles into Vietnam. I hope your dad stays safe and your granny as well.
We will.
thanks for listening to this episode of a Vietnam podcast by 7 Million Bikes. We hope you enjoy hearing our guest stories. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the show and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. Thank you so much to Lewis Wright, who made the 7 Million Bikes music and continues to support us in every way. Also to our audio engineer, Luke Digweed, for making sure each episode sounds amazing for you. Also, a big thanks to the 7 Million Bikes community. Thank you so much. It's amazing to get to know you guys. It's amazing to see how much we're growing, and I look forward to seeing you at our next event. You can join the community today. The link is in the description of the show. You'll get free tickets to 7 Million Bikes events, episodes before anyone else, and extra special bonus content only for you, and invites to special member-only events. You will also obviously be providing massive support so that we can keep sharing people's stories with you on a Vietnam podcast. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And remember, we have 7 seasons of stories to share with you. So check them out if you haven't already, and we hope you can listen to future episodes too, so you can laugh, connect, and discover. Cheers! I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're like me, you may use your laptop at places where you have to use public Wi-Fi. This opens you up to digital snoopers. It's a massive problem. It can be your internet service provider, or you know who, looking at what you do online, or a cyber criminal trying to steal your bank passwords or credit card info, or even a hacker at the next table trying to steal your sensitive data. These days, it is vital that you keep your data safe. NordVPN keeps all of these snoopers away. It makes your internet activity private, protects you from accessing dangerous websites that are phishing for your data, and lets you enjoy your favorite content securely, even while away from home. And it's easy to use, even I could use it. I've actually been using NordVPN for years now here in Vietnam, and I'm excited to be an affiliate partner with them. I've used NordVPN to watch Netflix, BBC, Disney Plus with ease. And I also know that my information and data are safe from prying eyes, whoever they may be. Join now and you'll get 68% off and 3 months free when you go to my link, nordvpn.com/SMB. Just again, for those hard of hearing, nordvpn.com/SMB. The link is also in the show notes. I know nobody checks them out, but go check that out and you can get the link from wherever you are listening to this podcast. As an affiliate partner, it also means that I will get a small commission when you sign up, but at no extra cost to you. So not only will you be getting a great deal through 7 Million Bikes, you get a great VPN and you'll be supporting 7 Million Bikes podcast. Stay safe online and enjoy the shows you love. Any questions, just let me know. You know how to get in touch with me. And thanks for listening to this show. Cheers.